What's up, guys? Welcome back to the car review. It's been a while since we've done one of these, and we're doing it old school. We're actually in the passenger seat because Michael won't let me drive his car. So we're in
manual.
I can drive a manual.
No.
We're in his 2008 Mazdaspeed3. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a good bit of time, you guys know who Michael is, aka Kindlestone here on YouTube. So I apologize for the shaky of the camera. This clip is slaughtered. I need to get a new one. But if you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, you guys know Michael, aka Kindlestone. He used to have a Jeep Grand Cherokee. He had a 2014 Ford Taurus, which you guys might remember was the last car of his that we reviewed. Pretty much, he traded in both of those cars for his 2018 Scat Pack you guys have seen on the channel plenty of times, and on his channel as well if you subscribe to it. This was more of a replacement for the Taurus than anything. Michael really wanted a lighter, smaller, front-wheel drive car that could really
something to drive to work.
Yeah, he wanted something that...
This was a great option.
Yeah. Pretty much the whole story behind why Michael wanted a Speed 3 was one night in the Taurus, we were out in Mexico having some fun, and he rolled up on a Speed 3 and challenged him. The Speed 3 blew the doors off of him. And ever since then,
Rolling coal and all.
Yeah, ever since then, Michael has been a huge fan of the Speed 3. And it kind of became his quote-unquote practical dream car. And quite a few years later, he got it. So this car is a 2008, like I said. It's a 2.3-liter MZR motor out of Mazda. It's very actually heavily related to the EcoBoost motors that you find in the modern Mustang platform.
Same parts.
Yeah, because pretty much Ford owned Mazda at the time. And a lot of the parts of the Speed 3, well, the motor itself was from Ford, but the Speed 3 itself, and only the Speed 3 to my understanding, was the only one that was actually made in Japan with Japanese parts. The rest of it were parts sourced from Ford. The normal 3 and the 2.3S and stuff like that. The difference between those two is actually kind of big. Apparently, the Speed 3 and the 2.3S have completely different motors, apparently, to handle the turbo and all that jazz. But it's front-wheel drive through a 6-speed manual, completely stock, minus a intake, a tune, and some cosmetic bits and stuff like that you guys saw already. And if you guys watched the videos from last week, you guys would have seen that Michael just put a brand new turbo on the car. When he first got the car, it was not able to hit more than 14 pounds of boost. Now, it can hit 20. Just see through his access port he's got. When he first got it done, the tune was all sorts of butchered due to the fact the car was only running 14 pounds of boost at the time. So now Michael's running was running 20. He tuned it back down to 17 just to be safe. There are still a couple little bugs, like the car likes to fall off quite a bit at the top. Typical EcoBoost stuff, you know.
Not even at the top, anywhere in the RPM range where it hits 17 or when it starts boosting like it's supposed to, just falls off. Yeah.
So there's probably he has his theories that the catalytic converter is having issues, and that's why it's having that issue. But as you can hear, the turbo whistle is obnoxious in this car.
Especially after the new turbo.
Yeah. So that's due to the JBR intake this car has, which is really cool. 3-inch intake. So I mean, it's very loud, very spooly. The car should be making what, like about 270 wheel.
The dyno sheet says for a
Speed 3 with these mods.
Not with these mods. Maybe it is for the SF Cobb intake, but
yeah,
who knows?
So this car, not only makes more power than the Taurus did, but it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more planted. It's not anywhere close to as comfortable. But this car is lighter than the Taurus was. It's got a lot more suspension tuning, so that it's a lot better around corners than the Taurus was. It's not anywhere close to as comfortable as the Taurus was. The Taurus was
this thing needs some suspension work.
The Taurus was a beast around corners for its size, for what it was.
That's so stupid.
Michael's car was a Taurus SE, so it didn't even have the turbos. It didn't even have all the sports suspension, all that stuff. It was a base model 3.5 Duratec Taurus, and that thing literally was a fantastic car all around. Sure, it wouldn't win every drag race, but the thing was actually a really good shock for what it was. And this car, it's not quite as sleeper-ish, I guess you could say, as the Taurus was, because the Taurus, you couldn't even tell it was even modified really too much until you listened to it.
Besides a full blackout.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that guy likes cars.
Yeah, and the thing was, it was quick. This car, on the other hand, is just scary. If I compare his two cars, the Taurus didn't scare me very much. It was fun.
That's what I do for a living back here.
There you go. We compare the Taurus to this all the time, but let's compare it to Michael's other car, the Charger. So the Charger, while it makes double the horsepower almost than this car, it's predictable. It's not as breathtaking. This car, it's violent. It tries to pull you all over the road. I mean, torque steer is very real in these cars. But the Charger's a lot more predictable in my opinion. Riding in it, at least, it feels a bit more predictable than this car. This car, you punch it, you don't know if it's going to try to pull you to the left, pull you to the right, or, do what.
I got to put new tires on this thing, and then we can say that, because before the Charger, with the stock tires, was complete garbage anyway.
Yeah, I remember that. You said it would never
So if
hook.
I get new tires on this thing, I mean, the torque steer is going to still be there, but...
might hook a little bit better. That's one thing. Michael did actually have to modify the boost settings on first gear just because he could not
work.
Yeah, it used to just blow the tires off in first. But this is Michael's first manual car, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Michael has only driven automatics up until this point. He used to hate manuals as a concept for a while.
I still don't think they're the best transmission. They're fun. It's not the best.
But they're very good for just driving and weekend cruising. He's not trying to run a 9-second quarter mile in this car. But, yeah.
Well, I'm not doing that.
But he does have plans to do some stuff with this car. It's not going to stay stock. I mean, it's already not really stock anymore.
I bought this thing bone stock.
Yeah, I mean, this car had nothing on it.
I don't even think this thing had a new filter in it.
Oh, man. But we're heading towards one of our favorite roads, and it's kind of a sad road because if you guys remember, and you can see Hayden in the back here.
I'm sorry.
This is the road that the Genesis met its unfortunate demise on, and we're going to be a lot more careful than we did that day.
Oh, yeah?
Huh?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully. But speaking of Hayden, he's in the back seat. Go follow his Instagram. Go buy his S2000 if you want. But yeah, this car just has all of the sporty stuff. It pretty much is like it picks up where the Taurus left off. It's all of the fun, kind of aggressive front-wheel drive aspects of the Taurus and cranks it up to 11. And I know that people are going to be cringing the fact I'm comparing our front-wheel drive base model Taurus to a Mazdaspeed3, but I get the vibe from both of those cars, So we're now turning on to a very insane back road. Yeah, this car, like I said, is just a blast. It's one of my favorite cars I've gotten to ride in. It's in that same tier as, say, Hayden's Genesis was, or his S2000 now. It's like that trio has always been kind of like my favorites. The Charger right behind it, all that kind of stuff. I mean, top 5, the Charger is going to be in there anyway because it's just unbelievably fast. It is the fastest straight line car I've been in. But this car, much like Hayden's Honda, can just whip through corners like it's nothing. This does a little bit more sketch because it's very good at snap oversteer. This car isn't quite as snappy, I guess you could say. It doesn't try to kill you when you try to turn, unless you're punching it in the turn, in which case you're dead. But
after at least at 14 psi, after third gear or second gear, it's fine.
Yeah,
that jump does not torque steer at all.
But yeah, this car just,
what is that?
I don't know. Let's not hit it.
Around it.
That's a possible.
It was a bird.
Oh, it's a bird?
No, it's a plane.
Oh.
In the middle of the road.
But yeah, it's been quite a minute since I've been on this road. But this car, like I said, is just a blast. So
it's been since I got my Hayden center cap.
Yeah.
Since I've been back here.
So I just remember where it was.
What?
Because we haven't been here in that. I thought that was a turn for since.
How could I not forget this road?
True. But
that's a traumatizing moment.
True. So pretty much, Michael, would you like to give the entire backstory of why you got this specific car?
You already did.
There's a whole story about the day you went to get this car. You looked at a couple other cars, and this was kind of last.
Oh, you talking about the process of looking at these cars?
Yeah.
Until I actually got it.
Because he actually had several cars he had in mind before he got this car. This wasn't his first consideration.
The day before I bought this, I was looking at a Genesis 3.8 Ultimate.
Much like Hayden's car.
Yes.
It wasn't even the same color and everything.
No, it was white. It was right and it had red Brembos on it. But the people were one of those scamming businesses, and they were like, hey, yeah, we got the car, called up there. Yeah, we got the car, but come on in, we'll deal with it. We got there. same day, got there, and they were like, no, we just sold it, actually. It's like, okay. So that fell through. I don't know what other cars I was looking at.
And there's another Taurus you looked at. There's a deer back there. There's another Taurus you looked at, too, I think.
Tauruses were kind of too expensive, especially an SHO. They're like $20,000 still.
Yeah, because you weren't really wanting to jump back into an SE.
No, I would have kept all my stuff. I was going to do that. But then there was another black Speed 3 that I was looking at, and they didn't want to deal with any pricing or anything, and they wouldn't let me drive it. So I was like, sorry about it, but I'm not buying it from you guys. It was kind of crapped out anyhow. But then the place that I found this one at was in Marta. And they had another, I can't remember if it was black or white, but they had another Speed 3, and it had stuff done to it, but it was all destroyed on the front. The exterior wasn't nearly as good as this one. And so this one was sitting there, the timing chain was rattling, and I was like, that's not good, it just needs a timing chain job, and sure enough it was, but it also needed a VVT actuator. So that was a $1,000 job that I did myself in my garage over about 3 months.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then recently doing the turbo, like you said.
And
now hitting my boost targets on the incorrect tune. I was hitting 20. I think it hit 21.
Yeah, you boosted,
which is far over boost. But now it hits 17 at any RPM, and then shortly thereafter it falls flat on its face to 10. I'm assuming because of bad catalytic converters. But I'm sure you guys will see that whenever we do the install of whatever I end up doing, because I don't really want to make this car loud.
Yeah.
But I also want to be able to hit boost targets, so I'll probably get some high flow cats or something.
Yeah, because this is Michael's daily driver. He drives this car every single day.
Yeah, pretty much.
So man, this corner's sharp.
I drive it more than the Charger.
So yeah, this car, like I said, is Michael's daily. Like I said, this replaced the Taurus in that regard, because the Taurus was kind of the daily, the Jeep was the project car, and now it's kind of in a similar vein. You're kind of back at that square. You have a Mopar project and a Ford daily.
That whole situation was more of, I couldn't stand driving the Jeep because of the condition that it was in anymore.
And it really wasn't that bad.
I mean, it wasn't, but I mean, it just.
You were worried.
It was just. I hate to say old, but the technology in it just wasn't there. And the Taurus, after driving that thing, it ruined me. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
it spoiled
hey,
you.
Look at this. Yeah. All this fancy bells and whistles. And the Jeep didn't have it, and it was just uncomfortable in the Jeep after that. I ended up swapping my subwoofer and everything over to the Taurus, and I drove the Taurus more than I drove the Jeep. It's kind of like this and the Charger now. I drive this more than the Charger. But, oh well. I got 25,000 miles on the Charger now, so she getting old.
Yeah. So, if you guys want to go see both, this car has not gotten a formal introduction on Michael's channel yet. So, if you guys want to see his eventual video showing this car off, go subscribe to his channel, Kindleson. I'll put it on screen for you guys to hear the little graphic.
I was also planning on making a video about the comparison, like
comparing this to the Taurus.
No, just comparing,
driving experiences.
Different parts on vehicles, like hydraulic steering and electronic steering.
Yeah.
I was planning on doing something about that, but
is that Brandon?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool.
So yeah, go subscribe to Michael's channel if you haven't already for all the cool stuff on this car. Because he's gonna have videos.
We're turning around. I promise. I think it's 65 out here, actually.
Yeah, 65 here. But yeah, Michael's channel's got all the cool stuff. He's gonna have videos on this car coming soon. If you guys like his Charger, you can go watch all of his videos on that. Because he's got plenty of content on the Charger there. You still need to do a follow. Oh my gosh,
Jordan!
You still need to do a follow up to your running E85 without a tune video that you did.
I'm gonna dip off somewhere.
Are you actually paranoid?
Just to be on the safe side.
Oh, you actually
we'll just go this way. How about that?
But yeah, pretty much that's that. So, you have anything you want to add?
I don't think so.
So, like I said, guys, go subscribe to Michael's channel if you want to see more of this car, his Charger, all of our shenanigans, because we do a lot of shenanigans. As well as go follow Hayden on Instagram. He hasn't really said too much today, or in this video, but he's back there. He's been our fun extra. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, everyone.